Hyphenation. Hyphenation is the use of hyphen to break up a word when it reaches the edge of a document or container. The picture is an example of hyphenation. As shown in the picture, the word surface is hyphenated as service because it's continued to the next line. Hyphenated text is defined as containing a punctuation mark that joins two parts of a word or two compound words, or that allow for a word to break at the end of the line. By default, hyphenation is set in Microsoft Word to none to prevent automatic hyphenation from occurring. In order to include in your document hyphenation, press or click the page layout tab, تخطيط الصفحة. Select hyphenation الوصلة بالعربي، ومنها اختار automatic from the list. Italics and bold. Use italics for weaker emphasis and bold for strong emphasis, and avoid both italic and bold together. Italic is used to highlight the text to capture the reader's attention. Italics or emphasis. Italics is used to highlight quotes, is used to highlight names of books, blogs, newspapers, to highlight conversation or dialogues, to highlight imagination or story, to highlight foreign words. Generally, use italics first. If it doesn't work or you don't feel good, use bold tag. Underline. Here are some situations in which you may use underline, such as defining or definition, such as linking hyperlinks. In the online world, you must avoid using underline because the online world will consider it as a link. You should keep underline tag to a minimum usage. Instead, you can use a bold or italic. Abbreviations and acronyms or initialism. Abbreviations is a shortened or contracted form of a word or phrase, used as a symbol for the whole. Acronym is a word formed from initial letters of a sequence of words. Initialism is an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of a sequence of words. We conclude that acronyms and initialism are forms of abbreviations. The difference between acronym and initialism is that we pronounce the letters in an acronym as a word, and we spell out the letters in initialism. Expressions that avoids abbreviations or acronyms is preferable. If you must use abbreviations, define it in parentheses the first time you see it. You should use the word note instead of NP. Use the following System International abbreviations for units of measurement: meter, M; gram, G; kilogram, kg; mol, mol; liter, L, not capital L, not small l; millimeter, ml; degree, centigrade, degree with circle above; millisecond, ms; second, s; minute, min; hour, h; day, d; week, wk; year, y. If one or more items contains comma, use this convention of numbering system: A, first item; B, second item; C, third item or final item, and so on. You can use numbering system or letters only if you are going to refer to one or more items from this list in the text later on. If you are not going to refer to this list, you can use bullets. Use a numbered list for items that could stand alone as paragraph. Do not try to include two or more paragraphs under one number. Use numbered lists when you are working with instructions to be done in sequence, and the numbers suggest a hierarchy. If numbers are not essential, use bullets. Numbers and statistics. When you quote numbers, make sure you use the minimum number of significant digits or decimal places. For example, 23 plus minus 7 years is easier to read than 23.4 plus minus 6.6 years. For standard deviations, use two significant digits only. Tables. You can create tables with the table pull down inward, and don't use tabs. Examples of the table styles are shown in Table 1 and 2. Figures. Note the following rules for choice of the figure format. Use line diagram or scatter diagram if independent and dependent variables are numeric. Use bar graphs if only dependent variables is numeric. Use bar graphs or pie charts for proportions. Do not use scanned image or graphs or diagrams. It is better to draw figures directly using computer software in PowerPoint, Excel, or any other drawing software. Don't make figures wider than 14 centimeters. Make sure that the figure is displayed at 100% size and that it looks okay. Put figures into the cell of a table Use of words. Make sure you select the right word. For example, affect is different from effect. Temperature affected the outcome. There was an effect on the outcome. Note singular and plural forms. For example, criterion, criteria, datum, data, medium, media, phenomenon, phenomena. Don't use however or its synonyms twice in one paragraph, because changing the direction of an argument twice in one paragraph may annoy the readers. Keep jargon words to minimum, which means technical complicated words. Explain any of that if you have to use it. Avoid the so-called human agent. For example, use the authors concluded that rather than the study concluded that. It's better to use while rather than whilst. Avoid using the sexist language even if you are or the subject is clearly for one gender. Use while and since to refer to time. Don't start sentences with because, since, or as. Grammar. Make sure that you write well-formed sentences and keep their structure simple. Use the first person I or we instead of or rather than passive voice as shown in the example. When you use comparatives such as more than, less than, then may need to be than that, of, or than with, or than by, etc. Clarify the meaning. Similar to may need to be similar to that, of. Which or that. Simple rule which always follows a comma and a pause, but that never does. As the example, owing to or due to. As a simple rule, owing to always has a comma, due to never does, as shown in the example. Flows of ideas. Focus your thoughts by writing summary first, even for the article that does not require one. 3 ways to help get your ideas in sequence. To make an outline in the form of headings. To put the draft aside for days or weeks, and to get others to comment on the draft. Try to make ideas within each section flow together. Don't put ideas in the wrong section. When appropriate, keep the order of ideas and the same in different sections of the article. Don't repeat ideas or yourself in different sections. Aim for simplicity because many readers are less intelligent than the writers.